Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Tally. The mission and the goal of this podcast is to bring an engaging conversation that will add value to the lives of everyday people. We will inspire, encourage, educate, and tell the stories of America's finest men and women in an effort to motivate you to live your life to its fullest potential. Be sure to follow us on social media and search Tuesdays with Tally. Be sure to subscribe, follow, and share the program as well. And now your host, Brian Tally.
Welcome back to Tuesdays with Tally Podcast, where we add real-life value to the lives of everyday people. Be sure to follow us on social media and on Spotify. The online information and handles are all located on the scrolling ticker at the bottom portion of your screen. We are on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Anchor FM, and Spotify. Simply search Tuesdays with Tally. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to get every episode and stay up to date with the latest and greatest our guest in this show has to offer. Folks, I want to tell you about a company based out of Canyon City, Colorado called Chase's Choice. To put Chase's story into a few paragraphs is a daunting task. You see, Chase had undiagnosed epilepsy and was incorrectly diagnosed as having ADHD. The medication Chase was on caused him to become paralyzed, and he was told he would never walk again. Chase's father, Ken Reef, then turned his pain into purpose and dedicated his life to saving his sons. And Ken did just that. To this day, he is an industry leader in cannabis and hemp products and continues to heal those in need. Whether you are struggling from physical pain, anxiety, depression, or having trouble sleeping, there is a product for you that will improve your quality of life. Chase's story is a powerful reminder that what is legal is not always just, and what is just is not always legal. Ken continues to fight to further the conversation about education, research, and development on the benefits of cannabis and hemp, CBD, CBG, CBN, THC, and all of the other cannabinoids found in the plant. To learn more, visit Chase's Choice online today at chaseschoice.org. That's chaseschoice.org, or call Ken directly at 719-994-0141. That's 719-994-0141. Now, CBD was Chase's choice. What's yours? Always consult with your doctor before starting any alternative medicine products, and always check with your state and local municipalities on the laws regarding the use of CBD and hemp products. Folks, we have a very special guest joining us on today's program. Regina Paxtas comes from a military family. Her father was in the Air Force. Her brother and ex-husband were in the Army, and she has a stepsister in the Navy. She has seen and witnessed firsthand the effects that war has on people. She cares deeply about the military and veteran community and has always wanted to do something about the struggles that veterans face. Regina offers equine services through the JoyRide Center in Magnolia, Texas. Regina has been working with horses for 20 years and teaches from a natural horsemanship perspective. She is passionate about her work and fully believes that healing through horses is her strength and calling in life. Regina has a degree in psychology from the College of St. Rose and a master's degree in crisis counseling and trauma from Liberty University. And with that, we are honored to be joined by Regina Paxtas. How are you, ma'am?
I am fine and dandy this beautiful day. Thank you for asking.
It's a little chilly out here in the Houston metro area, huh?
Yes, only going to get chillier. We're prepping the barn and the horses for that big chill we're having here next week.
So what are you doing out there for prep?
Well, we're covering all of the pipes so they don't burst. We're draining them out. We're sizing blankets to horses, making sure we have enough hay and enough food to make it through just in case something bad happens. You never know. Horses are exciting that way. Never know what you're going to get.
Well, I do remember in 2020, we lost power, and, it was... it was one of those situations where you kind of just got to throw that generator on if you got one and hit that pantry and just hope it's full, right?
Yes.
Well, listen, I first and foremost wanted to thank you for having me out to the JoyRide Center in Magnolia. Now, we met about a month or so ago out at a veterans event, and we happened to be near the same table. And I learned a little bit about you. You learned a little bit about me, and we've become friends ever since. And you had me out as a guest for some equine services that you are providing to the military and veteran community here in the Houston metro area. And you're actually based in Magnolia, Texas. Now, what you did for me was tremendous. I mean, I hadn't been on the back of a horse in over 20 years. And
You're wonderful.
yeah, I mean, it was an amazing experience. And I sincerely believe in what you're doing. And that's why I invited you to come on this program today to talk a little bit about what you do at JoyRide Center in Magnolia. Now, you are wanting to get the word out about your veteran program that you are now offering. Can you explain a little bit about what your program entails for the veteran community?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's actually in 3 phases. Your first phase is after you send in the registration, we make contact and say, hey, we've got time for you to, what time can you come out? And basically it's like a little evaluation. We get to know each other a little bit. But the main thing is the veteran will learn about equine safety, equine communication, and we walk through every pasture until they find a horse that they connect with. Now, either they pick the horse or the horse picks them, and there's always a reason for it. And once they've met all the horses, we sit and we talk about which one that they'd work with the best. And the second phase is group sessions. So I like to have no more than 4 in a group, and you get to learn the basics of horse training, more about horse communication, horse behavior. And while you're training and exercising these horses, you're also getting insight into valuable life skills like communication, boundaries, respect, how to build and maintain a healthy relationship. So you're not only having fun with a horse, you're building a relationship, you're heading towards mental wellness on this journey in these group sessions. You phase up to level 3, and that's individual group sessions, which is one-on-one. It's all based on the time you have and the time I have. So you call me up and you say, hey, Regina, I've got time Tuesday at 2:00. Can I come out and work with Mojo? Okay. So I'd say, absolutely. I got time. You come on out. I'll meet you here. And it's one-on-one with you and your horse and the instructor. And you have a lot more versatility, a lot more freedom to learn different things. And it's kind of tailored to what you as a veteran and an individual need and what your horse needs in order to progress and move forward. And eventually, once you are started or somewhere in your individual sessions, that's when we start talking about riding. Because the hope is you work with your horse from the start all the way to the riding bit, and you have that relationship with the horse, and it's way more fluid that way. Getting from the moment you meet your horse in the pasture to the moment you're getting on his back, it's been the same horse, hopefully. And the relationship, the commitment, the understanding between each other, that's the healing magic right there. And we also encourage that if the people who come out, the veterans come out and they like it, please hang around, walk in class with some of our disabled riders, or, help groom a horse before class. There's all kinds of things that people can do around here to become part of our community. Because JoyRide is small and we love it that way. We get to know you, you get to know us, and you get to be a part of something way bigger than you're just a client here. Because it's never just that.
It is a beautiful facility, and like I said, I am so appreciative and grateful for that afternoon of healing. That was a great experience that I had, and like I said, you guys did a great job, and I can definitely see the value in this program that you are now offering to the veteran community. Now, how long does it take typically to go through your program? Is this just a one-day thing, or is this several days or over several weeks or several months that these veterans enroll in this program?
That's a good question. Your phase 1, Horsemanship 101, is 1 day, 1 hour. Your group sessions are 10 sessions, so 10 weeks, 1 hour a week. And then your individual sessions, it's kind of come as you please. If you want to come twice a week, you can come twice a week, right? So and that's really kind of as long as you want to go into it, So when you feel like, I mean, there's always much more to learn when it comes to horses, but the individual sessions are kind of at the discretion of the veteran,
So this is a minimum 3-month program.
Probably, yeah. I mean, if it takes at least 3 months, 90 days to build habits and build real relationships, so if you want to get to know your horse and the other veterans you're working with, yeah, we'd ask for probably around 3 months at least.
For veterans out there who want to give this a try, that may be going through some tough times in life and may not even have any horsemanship experience, perhaps have never even been on a horse. Can you explain what they would get through this program? Because you had mentioned valuable life skills and building relationships. Now, can you explain how these veterans can get that through a horse?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm very passionate about this subject, so feel free to cut me off if you have to. But every group session builds off the previous one. So the first session, you've already picked your horse, right? So we talk about the basics, like you haltering the horse, and then you're going to learn to lead the horse. You do that all by yourself, but in order to halter the horse, you have to learn to approach it correctly. If you're in a bad mood and you show up to the barn and this is your horse, right? And you're just like, I'm going to halter you. Your horse is going to run away. But if you show up and you're in a good mood and you're centered and you're basically, the horse forces you to be in a calm, relaxed, present state if you want to interact with them, because they're prey animals, right? If they feel you have a vibe that day, they're going to want to run from you. They're not going to want to connect. They're going to be almost afraid to connect with you. So without me saying, hey, Brian, you're really tense and you need to calm down, which can be insulting, the horse is saying, hey, man, I care about you, but I need you to take a deep breath and be here with me so that we can work together. And so think about all the life skills just that interaction is teaching you. You have to learn how to take that deep breath, how to check in with yourself, say, is my mind a million miles away, or is it right here in this moment with this horse? So now you're not thinking about all of the things that might have happened to you that day. You have to think about what the horse is telling you, and what they tell you is said with their ears, their noses, their eyelids, their tails, their feet. So again, if you're a million miles away and your horse is telling you no, and you're not listening, that's a potentially, unhappy situation. So they choose this horse. This horse chose them. People I've seen over and over again, they naturally want to have and build the relationship with their horse. So without me having to point anything out other than the horse's body language and say, hey, what is that telling you? You make the adjustment yourself. It's experiential learning, right? So I can't teach you this. The horse teaches you this, and you learn it by experiencing it. And you have your own epiphanies, This isn't therapy. You don't have to tell me about your problems. You can tell your horse will listen and never say a word to me, right? But like I said, you have your own epiphanies. So you're working with this horse and something is not working. And then all of a sudden you take a different approach and boom, you've learned something that like maybe your horse keeps walking over you and pushing into you, right? Because we're having a hard time maintaining our boundaries and standing up for ourselves. But the minute we say, hey, get out of my space, right? That's you standing up for yourself, not necessarily aggressively, but assertively. And a lot of people have trouble between aggression and assertiveness. So that right there, if you're too aggressive, your horse is going to run and react really strongly. If you're not assertive enough, he's going to walk all over you. So you find the common middle ground where both of those things meet to make it work. And the horse does all of it. You don't have to hear it from me. I can give you hints about, what the horse is saying with his body, what responses, like why he's responding to us the way that he is. I'm basically your equine translator. I translate equine behavior into words you can understand. So a lot of that, once you read the horse's language and you become familiar with it, that's all instinct and feeling and experience.
Regina makes everything make sense when you are there as a translator, if you will, as a horse whisperer. Now, I love this place so much and I believe in it so much that I even changed my profile picture to when I was on a horse at this very center at the JoyRide in Magnolia. Now, there was 2 horses there. There was Yuma, right? There was Yuma. And what was the one I was on?
Blaze.
Blaze. Yes, I love Blaze. And folks, my profile picture is me and Blaze. Blaze was amazing. Blaze came right up to me. He was just right. He chose me, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. From the minute he saw you, he walked up to you at the gate. And then when you walked into the arena, he shadowed you along the railing. And you walked in and he was like, "Hey, Tally, what's up? You're here for me, right?" And even when you were brushing him, he kept looking at you. He kept sighing. He kept licking and chewing, which are all signs of horse relaxation. Again, as prey animals, if a horse can relax in your presence and not feel the need to be on alert, then that's a compliment. It's a huge compliment, especially for someone he's never met before.
Yes. I don't think I've ever connected with a horse before in that way. But then again, you have some very well-trained animals out there too that are, intended to help heal, veterans. And then you also have a lot of special needs folks out there that also participate in your program as well. But we're focusing today on the veterans aspect. I just wanted to touch on that your horses are very well behaved, very well mannered, and very, very much willing and ready to go to accept the traumas that veterans will bring to this place and hopefully leave there and leave a different person, leave a different veteran, especially over 3 months. And it's not just 3 months, guys. If you want to go back, you can volunteer your time and services here. You can help clean the barn. You can, comb, right, and clean the horses.
Come in and brush your horse.
Yeah, you can do so much here. Again, this is a very family friendly type place. You get to see Regina, and they have a lot of great, volunteers and workers here that are always available, to sit down with you and kind of show you around, give you a tour and all that stuff. So I want to know, I'm a veteran, I'm from Houston. I'm like, man, you know what? This seems really neat. I think I'm going to give this a try. Are there any fees connected with this for the veteran community?
Technically, there are fees, but we are mostly grant funded right now. So most of our veterans do not have to pay a dime. We're currently working on being 100% grant funded. But as of right now, we haven't charged a veteran a single penny for anything that we offer here. And we're lucky. It's not everyone can say that, but veterans have given enough,
So you operate off grants and fundraisers.
Yes. Donations, fundraisers, grants, broken piggy banks,
So somebody watching this today, they say, I want to donate to the JoyRide Center. How do they do that?
Well, there's a part of the JoyRide Center or just JoyRideCenter.org. You can choose to donate on the website. You can mail a check, or, if you want to donate horse supplies, you could always give us gift cards to Walmart or Tractor Supply or Steinhauser's, but also donating your time. People don't understand how much work goes into this, So there's so many ways to give. And you can also sponsor a rider, I don't remember. I think for every lesson, for a 45-minute lesson, it's $55. So you could, if you had lots of change laying around, you could X that by the amount of weeks we have, which off the top of my head, I can't remember, but sponsoring a rider, sponsoring a horse. There's all kinds of different ways.
And folks, you heard it right here. If you are a veteran, there are no fees to go participate in these equine services and get that opportunity to go out there and heal with horses, to connect through horses. That will definitely help improve your quality of life and your mental well-being. Now, again, we are joined by Regina Paxtas. She is one of the program managers at JoyRide Center in Magnolia, Texas. And they have a mission. They are trying to get the word out about their veteran program. They need to get veterans through the door. They want to heal the veteran community through this extensive program. It really truly is. Now, would you consider this to be a non-traditional approach to mental health?
Absolutely. Whereas most people, you say mental health and they think they have to sit in a room, much like the one I'm sitting in, and sit across from a stranger and pour out their feelings, and you don't have to tell anybody here anything that you've been through. You don't even have to talk about your emotions. We deal with the present, what's happening right in that moment. So if you're struggling, it's not about, oh, what are you feeling? Are you sad? Are you angry? It's more like, okay, where do you feel tension in your body? Right. So you'll say my stomach, it's like, okay, so, let's take a couple deep breaths and try to loosen that up and try to connect back to the horse. And again, it's not diving into, unless you want to share. Don't get me wrong. I'm a good listener. At least I try to be. So if you want to tell me something or your horse something, it's completely confidential, right? So you adjust yourself in real time and the horse will adjust himself to you in real time. So if you loosen that knot in your belly, okay, I'm ready to try again. And this way you're getting that feedback loop, right? So you don't have to talk about anything threatening. You don't have to talk about what you've been through or what you might've done. It's just it truly is all about the relationship with the horse, because these things can be stubborn, right? And they're 800 to 1,200 pounds of muscle, blubber, and love. So you have to be respectful of it. You have to be careful. You have to learn how to navigate the equine world. And just by learning the rules of the horse person, that's where the healing comes in. Not through the talking, not through the readings, not through workbooks or worksheets or medications. It's just about you and the horse.
Yeah, it's that eye to eye, touching the animal, connecting, grounding.
Yeah.
That's, the brushing, the horse feels that.
Yeah.
That emotion and that love and everything like that.
And you said the brushing, right? And that's actually one of the most important things that I love to push with this program is once you learn how to halter and lead your horse, you show up for session, you grab your halter, you get your horse, you come back and you brush for 15 minutes. And it's just, like you said, grounding. You leave whatever happens outside at the front gate. And when you're with this horse, it's you and the horse. This is your 15 minutes to reconnect after being apart for a week. See what kind of mood your horse is in. Let yourself kind of deflate from the stress of the real world. And that in itself can be really, really helpful in just leaving behind everything, that 15 minutes with your horse before you start, the work, it's just relaxation. It's breathing in the smell of the horse. It's listening to him breathing. It's watching what his ears are doing. So you have to be present, mindful, and grounded, which is a huge aspect of what makes this so successful.
Present, mindful, and grounded. That is the recipe of healing.
Yes, you can say that.
So I want you to explain. Now, you've been in the horse world for 20 years. And you teach from a natural horsemanship perspective. Can you explain what that is?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's basically, you're putting yourself in the shoes of the horse, right? So everything that is done here with your horse is, we try to speak their language, because they don't understand words. They understand your tone. They understand your energy, right? And like I've been saying, you have to kind of match the energy of the horse. You have to adjust yourself. So natural horsemanship is using the horse's own language, the horse's psychology, in order to progress in the relationship and in the training and in any of the work you're doing. So well, one thing we do is it's something called join up, where you go into the round pen, and it's all based on what you're looking at, what your body energy is doing, how you hold yourself while you're walking. So if you walk like this, the horse is going to be suspicious. If you walk like this, the horse is going to run from you. You have to walk like a cool cat of a leader. You know, a boss man swaggers. He doesn't hurry. He doesn't inch along, right? So horses are constantly looking for leadership. They want to know they're safe. So coming from knowing that, if you go into the round pen for join up, which is when a horse accepts you as their partner, you have to be speaking a horse's language in order to get them to connect with you on that level. Because if you just go out them and say, connect with me, dang it, right? It's not going to work. We have to use the natural horsemanship techniques to get the best results, because horses understand horse language. And that's basically what you're learning while you're here, the beauty of nonverbal communication. And that's a lot of what natural horsemanship is. It's reading the horse and responding appropriately.
And for all those veterans out there who are like, oh, wow, I want to go try this out. Hey, guys, this isn't the bucking bronco rodeo.
No.
So if you're looking for that 8-second ride, you're going to have to go down the road a little bit more, down to the horse barn, down in the but hey, guys, no, all the fun and games aside, this is all horse healing and equine services here that the JoyRide does provide at no cost to the veteran community. Again, an extensive 3-month program, and you can continue on as long as you want. You can also volunteer. You can build a relationship with this organization. Again, they're based in Magnolia, Texas. It is a beautiful facility. You can go out there and just breathe and just look at the trees and all the horses and the pasture and all the people that come there. I mean, everybody shows up and they're ready to go, and you leave very happy. I mean, I've seen it firsthand that this program does work, and that's why I believe in it, and that's why I'm putting it on my show today. To try to give them some sort of a platform to get those veterans that need some sort of healing, perhaps the veterans out there who may need it the most, that are maybe going through some hard times over the holiday season, some self-isolating, some depression, some anxiety issues. This will definitely help ease a lot of that pain that you may be going through and encountering through this season. Now, many veterans have injuries. They could be war injuries. They could be just from their service. We have veterans that are missing limbs. We have veterans that have a hard time walking. We have veterans that have more issues rather than the mental side of it. Now, what if I'm a veteran and I want to get on the back of a horse and I can't get on it? Do you guys get veterans on that horse who can't necessarily get on?
Yeah, we have a ramp that we mount people onto the horses. It's, if your horse is here, your ramp is, you're pretty even with the saddle. So all you got to do is swing your leg over and have a certified instructor who's there to help you do that. But if you can't be on your own 2 feet, we have a lift. And I've ridden that lift myself. It can be a little intimidating, but again, we do every annual inspections of the lift, and I'm trained to use it. I've never had to catch anybody falling out of the lift, but we have many ways of getting people on there. And I know it can be intimidating, facing off with these 800 to 1,200 pound animals. But that's kind of the beauty of it. There's beauty in the surrender. You're putting your life in that horse's hands, and we can get you guys on. And these horses are trained extensively, like you mentioned before. They go through 90 days probation before we even think about putting them in the program. So whether you have a prosthetic or you're in a wheelchair because you can't walk, they've seen it. They'll put their head in your lap and say, let's go for a ride. Let's get you out of that chair and into the sky for a minute.
Folks, they have lifts at this center. If you're in a wheelchair, you can go riding.
Absolutely.
They will be there by your side. They will ensure that you get on the horse and that you can still partake in this therapy, if you will, and build that relationship with the horse, learn those valuable life skills, and begin to empty that ruck, begin to empty all of that bad traumatic type stuff and engage and bring in the good positive things through healing with your horse. Now, I think something that is very important to know is that firsthand the struggles that our military veterans face, because you kind of grew up with it. You have a lot of family that served in the military. And I just want to know, have you seen the benefits firsthand as well of veterans going through a program like the one that you have, to see the healing from maybe the first day they show up to, like, say, 3 months down the road? Have you noticed a dramatic change in the attitude and in the walk of life of that veteran?
Well, honestly, the most dramatic change I've seen had to be when I was working in Kentucky before I moved down here. We did a different exercise with her because she was from the Coast Guard, Navy, and she had been struggling really bad with standing up for herself and maintaining boundaries. And we did a little bit of a different exercise because with the typical horsemanship that I would do, she was struggling with the connection, right? And we did this exercise where she had to stand up for herself, but the horses kept pushing past her and were not listening to her. And she started crying, and she was like, you know what? I don't want them to hate me. I don't want them to dislike me. And then we got talking about, it doesn't matter if people don't like you, if they're walking all over you, because clearly they don't respect you. And we went out, we tried the exercise again, and the horses didn't come within 20 feet of her. Her whole body language changed, her mental state changed. She's like, I'm a human being and you don't get to walk over me like this. And it was a really emotional day for her, and she left. She was still crying because of just that mental shift, that she'd had within a 15-minute window, changed so much. And then when I saw her the following week, the way she walked into the barn, I will never forget it. This woman usually walked with, a little forward, kind of hunched in on herself. But the next time she came, her chin was up, her shoulders were back. And it was dramatic, and all of a sudden it was like flipping a switch. We went back to the horsemanship, and she was able to get what she needed from the horse, not by overly demanding, but just by recognizing the fact that she deserved to be respected. And you walk in the doors here at JoyRide and you leave a different person because, again, the horses, they were just, how many times do you walk in somewhere, and people are delighted to see you and come walk up to you like our horses do, I had a gentleman out this morning who was picking out his horses, a member of the Veterans Program coming up. And he went out to see one of the horses, and the horse followed him around the pasture the whole time. And then we went to the pasture next door, and the horse was still following him along the rail in the opposite pasture. How good does that feel? Yes, dogs will do it sometimes, but this horse doesn't know you from Adam. My ex-husband, he said he'd done terrible things in Iraq, but when he wasn't a big horse guy, but he tried, bless him. He one thing I'll never forget he told me is like, they don't care that I did this thing. It doesn't matter that I've shot this many people, and that kind of unconditional acceptance is another one of those key factors to this. So yes, you can have dramatic moments from one session to the next or within the session, but you can also have dramatic changes from the start and when you decide you've finished.
I think you bring up some valuable points here, Regina. You have an ex-husband who served, and it sounds like he may have some post-traumatic stress, from what he went through while serving in combat overseas, and he brought that home, and it changes people, people, and I think the one thing about you that sets you apart is your education, right? You are bringing in veterans, but you too can also connect with these veterans. Say veterans come in, they're having a bad day, right? And they're like, man, I'm taking this first step. I want to try to heal myself. And I know this takes a lot of courage for me to get up out of my chair or off my couch and get off the sidelines and put myself into the game where I can begin to heal myself. But it's taking that first step. And sometimes when they show, it may take two or three times. But with your background in crisis counseling and understanding trauma, I think you have so much more to offer than just the horse. You can watch, right? Look, listen, and feel, and really gather the folks that are coming in that may need some help. And again, you can pick this stuff out, and you're also very easy to talk to. And again, you have that education level where you can give a lot of good advice, to really prepare them for what they're about to experience through the horse. And I think that's a very important aspect of something else that you guys do offer. Now, if you're a veteran and you want to enroll in this program, go online today. They are now accepting enrollment and registration for equine services through the JoyRide Center for veterans. Visit them online today on their website. It is joyridecenter.org, joyridecenter.org, and sign up today. And Regina or one of their other program administrators or program managers will reach out to you, and they will schedule a time for you to come out and visit and take a look at their barn and their ranch that they have out here in Magnolia, Texas. And they will get you in on some good healing magic that my friend Regina likes to use. It's that healing magic. Now, Yuma and Blaze are my two favorite horses, and those are two that I know. Now, how many horses do you guys have available out there for veterans?
We have 9.5 because one of them is a mini horse. And actually that's the one that really connected this morning with the veteran that came in. It's funny because he's this big dude, and Tucker's probably 36 inches tall, maybe.
I remember that guy. Yeah, you call it 9.5.
Yeah, so we have 10 horses plus the mini that are available for people. And it's, you never know. Because this morning, I saw horses that are emotionally shut down and don't care to connect with people just walk up to this gentleman and offer themselves, so we have 10 horses, and sometimes you worry that there won't be a connection, but there always is one, and there's always a reason for it.
We all have value to be added in this life. It doesn't matter where you've been or where you walked or what you've done. We all have some sort of value to us, and that's how you can connect with that horse, and that horse will choose you ultimately, or you can choose each other. Now, this is something that I have said all the time on this show. Only you can save you, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of veterans out there who are going through some tough times and they continue to struggle. We know that veteran suicide is at an all-time high in this country. But this is the best time in our nation's history to be a veteran, in my opinion. There are so many programs out there throughout the country that can literally fit anyone and everyone in the veteran community, from equine services to biblical-based, faith-based camps for trauma, rifle range, hunts. I mean, you name it. Adrenaline therapy, race car driving, ATV, motocross. Guys, there's so much available. All you got to do is just find it, right? And that's why I have these folks. I've had a lot of 501c3s on here. I've had a lot of folks out here that say, hey, I want to get the word out. I want to help. And again, there has never been a better time to be a veteran in this country. But you have got to understand that we can help you, but at first you have to help yourself. Like I said a few minutes ago, you got to get out of that chair. You got to get out of that comfort zone. And you have to take that first step and show up to a program like this. We can't heal you unless you want to heal yourself. We can give you all of the resources in the world to get better, but you have to accept that. And once you accept that, you will see your life begin to change, and you will live a life of gratitude, and you will find that purpose once again in your life, and you will reinvent yourself, and you will recreate yourself to live that best version of yourself through folks like Regina Paxtas at the JoyRide Center in Magnolia. Veterans, enrollment is open now. Register today at joyridecenter.org. That's joyridecenter.org. And let's get you started with some equine services that sure to change your life. So with that, I just want to thank you for joining us today, Regina. You do a tremendous job out there at JoyRide. And again, I'm sincerely grateful for the opportunity that I had to get a tour, from you for several hours, to get on the back of Blaze and to meet Yuma and I mean, go through the whole entire thing. And again, it was a great experience, and I will definitely be back very soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And again, it was a pleasure having you out here as well to really experience a little bit of what we have, a little bit of everything that we have to offer. It's been wonderful. We just want to get the word out, just because there are people suffering, and y'all don't deserve it. Don't deserve to suffer. And these horses are here for you. We're here. They're waiting, and those horses out there, they're waiting for you.
Awesome. My Texas veterans, my East Texas veterans, my Houston metro area veterans, go online today, joyridecenter.org, joyridecenter.org. The JoyRide Center in Magnolia is now accepting enrollment and registrations for veterans. It is free. It is no cost. All you got to do is show up. But go online first, sign up, then show up. Then the real healing will begin. We sincerely appreciate everything you have done and continue to do in the military and veteran community. Your service, sacrifice, and dedication to helping our great nation through the services that you provide at the JoyRide Center in Magnolia is truly admirable.
Thank you. I love it.
Until next time, for Tuesdays with Tally, this is Brian Tally. Good night. Semper Fi.